who else? Who else do you hang out with? Is it just your friends? Lucky? No, friends, family, colleagues. Yeah, colleagues, big one. So work colleagues. Who else? Anything online? Yeah. Trauma. Trauma is a big reason that, like a big factor that can influence your personality. That's true. Different types of trauma as well, psychological, emotional, physical. What other kind of things can influence your personality? Yeah, take the microphone.
I just listened to the chill. Diet and location, just in case no one heard that.
What about your diet and location?
Diet could change your chemical imbalances, which could make you see things differently if you were eating healthier versus you eating more dirty. Then obviously you'll see things in a certain way just because of chemical imbalances, I guess.
Yeah, no more Avantis. Yeah, that's a really good answer. So what you eat, if you guys don't know, I'm a dietitian, so that I completely agree with that. What you eat very much influences your mood, it influences your appearance, your health, it influences so much. So your diet as well, and your location is a really big one. So whether you live in Australia or in France or in Italy or Mount Druitt or the East, so can definitely influence your personality. Anything else? There's so many.
I would say God, like how in tune you are with God, depending, like people who are really in tune with God tend to be more patient, tend to have a lot more like happy factors to them, whereas someone who isn't as connected with God tend to struggle with a lot more of those personality traits and factors a lot more.
Yeah, that's really good. So God definitely influences your personality. Do you think it's that God influences your personality or that your personality is influenced by God? Influenced by God? Yeah. Also, your upbringing, whether you've had God in your life for most of your life or not, right? Abuna, do you have anything to say about that?
That's a good concept. The idea of God and the lack of belief can put us in a circle of life that is so confusing. And when I finally find Him, He helps me to find my person. So in finding the Lord, absolutely, it gets me to get to know myself a little bit better. Puts things in perspective.
Okay.
I want to add your choices. So your choice of how to respond to the things that happen and your attitude. Because like you're saying, there could be two people side by side experiencing the same thing, but they can come to a different conclusion on how they're going to respond.
And what influences your choices?
That's a great question. Your goals, maybe.
Your goals.
The amount of hope you happen to have.
Okay. Your height?
Gender, age.
Yeah, lots of physiological factors. So Gabby was saying your height, your gender, your age, your hair color, your eye color, those sorts of things as well. So very small things and very big things can influence, the experience that you have in life, and all of these experiences lead to you having certain personality traits. Does that make sense? Does anyone have anything else to add about that or any other thoughts?
I was going to add one more: education. Yeah, you tend to be influenced quite significantly about information that comes into your mind from that kind of arena.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think all of us see that all the time, especially if you work in, I think if you work in anything, you can really see how much education influences and drives people's actions. So, like, I work in health, I work with really sick people, and sometimes they don't have really good health literacy. So it really drives a lot of their decisions, and these decisions end up being, after, if they're making these same decisions again and again and again, it just turns into a personality trait. So 100%, your education influences a lot of your personality. Anything else? Hello to everyone who just walked in. Come to the front. So, just to keep you guys informed, we're talking about personality today and how your faith shapes your personality. We'll go on to the next question. Oh, yeah? No, say, yes.
Okay. I think we forgot to mention nowadays social media really influences your personality, especially celebrities and the apps we consume these days, like TikTok. I think it really influences the way we think and view things.
Yeah, absolutely. Social media is a huge one, and a pretty scary one sometimes. Anything else about social media in particular that anyone would like to add? Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of building off social media, but not really. Your socioeconomic status and like what you have access to, because then if you're exposed to things on social media, you're more likely to lean towards it if you've got the opportunity to, but some people don't. And so that causes a divide. Or like if you've got access to, education, higher education, healthcare, all those things.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you just like see people in the West in areas where it's so low socioeconomic status, they'll have a very different personality to someone from a very rich area. And that's a really, really basic, simple example of how socioeconomic status can influence your personality and the type of person you are.
I just want to add a silver lining. I think sometimes coming from a low socioeconomic status can make you stronger, because if you've had to work harder for your opportunities, you develop resilience. Whereas if you haven't, you might not develop grit and traits like that.
Yeah. Yes, Gabby?
It could also make
Yeah, it can.
because you tend to conform to what's around you sometimes. So like you'll see people in these bad situations and doing bad things, and then you tend to possibly look, since you're more numb to what they're doing, you're more likely to do what they're doing essentially. So
Yeah, for sure.
It could go both ways. So.
Yeah, that actually fits in perfectly. Oh, sorry. With this question, which is your personality fixed? So if you've been born in a place that's low socioeconomic status and you've been driven to think a certain way, is it going to be a strength or a weakness how it influences your personality and the way you kind of go about your day? But first we'll talk about strengths and weaknesses and what they mean. So how do you define a strength? Like a strength in your personality, how would you define it? Anyone? Hi, Philo. Maybe you can answer this. Think of strengths in terms of like, this is your goal. What's going to be a strength to achieving a goal? How would you define it?
Do you want like an example of a strength or the definition of
The
strength?
definition. Or you can give an example. Doesn't matter.
Positive attribute. Sorry.
Yeah, positive attribute.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, perfect. Positive attribute. Like if I'm really patient, that could be a strength. Right? What else? Like what can you say about strengths?
Something that you're good at, but something that also has value to yourself and to others.
Yeah, that's really important. So something that could seem like a strength to me could be seen as a weakness by someone else, right? So it has to hold some kind of value to you, that strength, right? And what about weaknesses? How do you define a weakness?
I was just going to say,
yes?
one step back on strength. I don't know how to put this clearly in words. Hopefully it comes out clearly. But our characteristics could be seen as strength where they are needed. So if I'm in an environment and I've got a particular trait in my personality, and that trait in my personality is required in that environment, it becomes a strength. So knowing who I am and knowing where there's opportunities or situations are available around me, I can now define my niche or strength so that these talents that are in me could be harvested and produce lots of goods, kind of thing.
That's perfect. Thanks, Abuna. Huh? No, go, Gabby.
Tools that help make tasks and like situations easier, I think is the way I think about like strengths.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
No.
They have to
You have to.
self-explanatory.
No.
Tools, like
Yeah.
These are certain personality traits of mine I consider as tools to help make certain situations easier. So maybe yes, I'm very social, and makes social situations easier. If I'm very problem solve, if I'm a problem solver, it makes solving problems.
Yeah, that's perfect. To be honest, I love how you both gave like not exactly the same answer, but you gave a really, really good definition in two completely different ways, which is what I want us to all recognize today. That like sometimes we will have the same answer for something, but it's different, or we'll have similar answers, but because of our personality, we'll say it in a different way. So that was perfect. And yes, strengths can be defined in different ways. And I think the bottom line is it depends on what you value at the end of the day, because that's what is going to be a strength in your eyes, right? And what about weaknesses? Can anyone tell me what a weakness is?
I'd say something that prevents you from achieving a certain goal.
Yeah, cool.
Anything else?
Qualities that you lack in.
Qualities that you lack. Okay. Yeah, really good. So it could be like a skill set that you would like to achieve, but you don't have it. Anything else about weaknesses?
I would say a weakness is an opportunity for you to work on something to improve on. Like it's a recognition in a flaw that you intend to improve on. So it's sort of like a recognition of something that you can do better with.
Yeah, cool. What's interesting about like how you can define weaknesses is that again, a weakness is only a weakness if it holds value to you. So if you can recognize that something is a flaw, then to you it's a weakness. But if it doesn't matter to you, then it's not a weakness. Does that make sense? So we'll just keep all these definitions in mind because we want to talk about them later. But really cool that we have different perspectives of what a weakness is and what a strength is already. So now, is my personality fixed? Can anyone tell me what they think about this? Can you change your personality? Philo? He's there.
I don't believe it's fixed. However, I do believe that it'd be quite difficult to change it. Like a lot of people's opinions are like kind of stubborn in a way. Like they've got one mindset and they don't want to look at change. So to change someone's personality like that would be quite difficult. But I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, perfect. Anyone else? I think Anna has something to say.
I don't think our personality's fixed. Like, I think everyone has like a uniqueness to their personality, but as we learn, as we grow, like changes happen to it. Like we learn new stuff. Like even if we don't realize it, it just becomes part of our behavior. Like it's more of like, I don't know, unconsciously, our behavior just develops as we grow and changes.
Yeah, cool. Are there any psychologists in the room by any chance? Or studying? No. There was one that was meant to come tonight, but I have to have a word with her. Oh, where? Oh, you do? Okay, perfect. So you can give us a little, I need you guys to speak a little bit more because I feel like you would have more to say. But if you don't, that's okay.
The person that just walked in church now, I think, studies psychology.
NG. NG, do you think that someone can change their personality?
Hello.
As they say, ahlan wa sahlan.
Like change their personality.
Yeah.
I feel like there are some things that, well, it depends. That's a hard one. I don't know. I have to think about this. You gave me the mic too soon.
We just threw you under the bus. Yeah, we'll talk a bit about it and then we'll come back to you. Abuna, did you have something? Gabby?
Yes, you can change it.
Yes. Okay, elaborate.
No, you can't change it.
I'm not an expert well, I didn't study psychology, so it's difficult to get an answer to that directly. But I think we think what our personality is throughout the days and years of our lives, and it may not be exactly that. It's because of all the different junk that's been thrown at us. So our real person is being suppressed in a way, and as we interact with people, maybe you create a relationship that becomes a marriage. In your relationship with marriage, you get to know yourself a little bit better. The other person is challenging you a little bit more, so you get to know your personality, strengths and weaknesses, and the details of it a little bit more. And those kind of interactions, personal, intimate interactions, can get you to know your real personality as such. But that's a difficult question. I hope you have an answer for this.
I do have an
Good.
answer. So, going back to our definitions of having temperaments versus understanding your personality traits, your temperaments are core. Your temperaments cannot change, okay? So, for those who came a little bit later, your temperaments are like your innate personality traits that God gives you when you're born. For example, some people, no matter how hard they try, will always be just that little bit more rigid, okay? Or some people will be a little bit more patient, or some people will be able to express their emotions more easily. Like they're very vocal, they speak out loud a lot more, okay? And I was saying earlier as well, that there are 4 temperaments, and this is a whole other series to talk about, but your temperaments are, there are 4 of them. There's sanguine, phlegmatic, choleric, and melancholic. And basically these 4 basic temperaments, you don't change them. They're God's gifts. And we know this because, for example, throughout the Bible, there's lots of biblical characters and they all had very unique personalities, but they all had like a core personality trait that didn't really change. It stayed with them, and God just used this to work through them. Okay? But your personality as a whole, it's not fixed. It's constantly being influenced. It's constantly, maturing or growing or developing or changing. And it's based on, your experiences and all these other factors that can come into play, like where you live, where you move to, what friends you end up having throughout your life. Maybe you start off your life not having many friends and then suddenly you do. So your personality can change, yes. But there are some core aspects to you that will not change, and they are God's gifts. They are your temperaments, okay? Does that make sense? Cool. So, is your personality fixed? No, it can definitely change. We also know this because this happens all the time in the Bible, right? Think of like St. Paul and his personality and how, he was stuck in one way. He was very stubborn and stuck in one way. He remained stubborn. He remained very rigid, but his personality changed towards God. It changed towards something greater and more beautiful. And he started to do God's work. Does that make sense? Yes?
Personality that changed, or his belief system is what changed? Because I would say he's the same rigid, passionate, determined person.
Yeah.
But his goal was just different.
His traits changed though. He became softer towards other people. He became more compassionate. He became more loving. Before, he didn't have all that. He had the same sort of rigidity. He had the same sort of strength throughout, but his compassion and his love was, it developed because he began to know God. Does that make sense?
Temperament is steady. He's got that leader kind of cut through, get to the end game and win, all that kind of stuff in St. Paul. but it became focused or baptized in Christ. Before it was just his opinion or what he thinks is the right thing, but now it became guided by Christ.
Cool. So now is where the fun begins. We're going to learn about our own personality type. So everyone, if you haven't done the quiz yet, that was that we put the link for on Instagram. This is the link. So just scan the QR code. If you want to just look it up, it's just the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities test. So if you go Google 16 personalities, you can look up the quiz, and we'll just give you guys a bit of time to do the quiz. And then
And do it as honestly as you can, otherwise you're not going to get the best answer. Okay. Good.
And also don't be. I don't know how many of you have actually done those kind of quizzes before. Put your hand up, right up. Good job. It's good. It's nothing to be scared of. It's actually very helpful. It helps you to understand yourself a little bit better, and in knowing yourself a bit better, it helps you navigate life with people, with God, in a more productive way. So don't be embarrassed. Pick up your phone, scan the code. It's for free, this one, so you're not paying anything. But don't go doing the paid one. No need for that. Just do this.
okay, it's also important to do this part because I'm going to split you off into groups. So you need to know what your code is. So just do the test. Yes, you have to. Oh, you did it? If you did it, it's fine. Just sit there and help your friend. Yes, you have to split. Maybe you guys are in the same group. I'm joking. I'm sure you will. I'm so cute.
It's actually interesting. The content, what they write, is actually interesting.
Yeah. Extrovert. Taylor, what did you get?
Oh.
That's how you guys bump heads all the time. I got campaigner.
Oh, interesting.
That's like a lot.
Weaknesses, I'm a love communicator. difficulty.
So how does it work between like?
That's so
So
funny that you
compare-
guys got
You have
executives.
different percentages.
Yeah, that's just gonna ask.
What did you get?
Didn't look that far. I didn't
Mediator.
recommend it.
Oh, mediator. Can I see?
Marina, I found
Is that green?
Rahab.
Yeah.
You're with me. We're nice people.
Yeah, same as Tolkien and Shakespeare.
You got analytical.
Yeah.
The microphone.
Make sure you're actually doing this so you don't waste the night. That's the whole point.
I've got my chance. That's what I've done. Oh.
If you're talking, that means you're not doing the test. You finished? All done? Two more minutes. I am your servant. What happened? Because you're a debater. Deborah's a judge. Yes. She took the head of the enemy.
That's a right thing.
Huh?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, she put rest in the people of Israel. Terrible. She's a tough cookie. Oh, really?
Oh wow! You don't have to. No, it's not. I'll tell you the truth, ladies. Blunt communicator. That's my weakness. Yeah. With a whole bunch of other ones.
Oh no, I definitely do that.
All right. Nearly there. Nearly there. 2 more minutes, they say.
What did he feel?
Sorry, Gendo.
Adam's a blamer. He does the wrong thing but blames everyone else.
He got blamed.
Adam is in like 2 chapters.
I ate it, but so did she.
All right, I think that should be it. All right, are you guys ready? Done. Yellow Marina. All right. I hope this helped.
Where are those questions
Question.
for the?
Okay, does everyone have their personality type? For anyone who just came in, just do the quiz. 16 personalities. Okay, so if you've done your personality types, I'm going to need to split you guys up. So can I get all the analysts? So if you're purple, you're an architect, logician, commander, or debater, can you please come to the front part of this side of the room? So just come here. If you're purple, so a debater, commander, logician, or architect. Come closer. Gabby, are you part of this group? Nice. Okay. Next group is the diplomats. So advocates, mediators, protagonists, campaigners. This is my group. Could you sit behind them? Oh, sorry, this is green. So if you're green, sit behind this group. Okay, great. If you're a sentinel, so blue, you're a logistician, a defender, executive, or consul, can you come to the front part of this side of the room? If you're not, move to the back. So consuls, executives, defenders, logisticians, so the blues, come to the front part of the room on this side. You have to, Abuna. All right, and then the explorers sit at the back of this side. Okay? So, yellow, if you came up yellow, you go to the back of this side. If you're blue, you're a sentinel, you're at the front of this side. If you're a diplomat, you're at the back of that side. And if you're an analyst, you're at the front over here. Okay, cool. So everyone has their group. And we're going to spend the next 10 minutes or so discussing... Oh, split into your personality types. So there's 4 personality types: analysts, diplomats, sentinels, explorers. And within each of these personality types, there's subgroups. So you have even more unique personality traits within that subgroup. And now is a good time to talk to each other about, the differences or what makes you, similar to each other. Talk about the key personality traits. So what makes you a part of this group as a whole, but also what makes you unique in that group. And also think about, so if you go to the website, you can look at the strengths and weaknesses of each personality type. And I can come to you if you're not sure how to do that. And I want you guys to talk about things like how you deal with stress, how you respond to situations, about the values that are important to you, and even what qualities you look for in a relationship. And if you look through the website, you can discuss all of those sorts of things because it talks a little bit more about that. Does anyone not have access to all of this or not sure where to look? No? Okay.
So How do you deal with stress or difficulties? Difficulties. What do you guys do? No, but wait, you gotta answer that one. How do you deal with stress or difficulties? It goes. Marina, can we get clarification? Why you put this group together? Like, why did she did it? You grouped the two groups.
I didn't group them. These are the people with the same personality.
No, there's four main ones under trait, and then there's four.
In that personality, it's all suffering.
Oh, there you go. Is that yellow? That's an executive and a big
All right, guys, keep communicating and chatting about the topic, no, about other things. Focus. So we missed the opportunity.
Guys, we'll do 2 more minutes and then I'm going to ask for one person from each group and we're going to do a little experiment. So pick someone. Okay, everyone. We'll quieten down now for a second. Shh. So, shh. Guys. Okay, so that sounded like you guys all really got into it, which makes me so happy. I thought it was really cool when I first did this test to see that, it aligns with all my strengths and weaknesses, and it made me more self-aware of things that I didn't really recognize were weaknesses or strengths before. So the next thing we're going to do is I want one person from each group to come to the front, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So, who's coming from the blues? Yalla, who's volunteering? Yeah? Sorry, what was your name? Yusuf. Okay, Yusuf, come to the front. What were you guys? Were you guys the yellows, the explorers? Okay, one person from this team, this group. That's fair. But it doesn't matter. Do you want to come up? Okay, Amy, you come up. All right, one of the greens. Mariam, do you want to come up? All right, cool. And then let's get another boy. We want a boy. What's your name? Huh? I promise you tell me a different name every time. Rafi? Okay, Rafi, come. All right, cool. So we're going to do a little interview in front of everyone. Answer very honestly, and we'll just have a bit of fun, okay? So first let's introduce our, let's call you guys contestants. So what's your name?
My name is Yusuf.
Beautiful. What's your name?
My name's Amy.
And what's your name?
Mariam.
Rafi.
Okay, so thanks guys for coming up to the front. So what I'm going to do is ask these questions one by one, and then you'll answer one by one, okay? So first question is, what's a strength for you that you would consider a superpower, and why? So Rafi, you go first. Oh, okay. Okay, who's got an answer and who wants to think about it? Also tell us your personality type.
My personality is executive. And
so of course you were the first to be like, I've got it.
Yes. And one of the strengths that I think is communication, and this is one of the most valuable things in our society. Like, I think that in communication you can share the spirit, you can share the God's word, and you can communicate with other people very well.
Cool. So you're really good at communicating. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Yusuf. Okay, Amy. So what's a strength that you have in your personality that you consider a superpower, like one of your best strengths?
It's not really a superpower, but it's something that I do without like noticing it, which is like I've been told this, that I'm very honest, and like I guess everyone always wants to sugarcoat everything, and I don't actually feel that I'm actually being overly honest until I hear other people's opinions, and I was like, oh, okay, I could have taken that down a notch.
What's your personality type as well?
Oh yes, I didn't mention that. Okay, so my personality type, ESFPT, entertainer.
So you're an entertainer, you're a yellow. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And Mary?
My personality type is protagonist. I think one of my strengths are that I'm empathetic, so I can read how people feel and I can act accordingly and comfort when needed or take a step back when needed. So yeah, I think that's a superpower.
Yeah, beautiful. And what about you, Rafi?
So my personality type is commander, but for a skill, I still haven't given it more thought. But if I had to pick, I'd say more to what Yusuf said, communication. I think that's personally, I think I'm really great at communication.
Yeah, cool. As a commander. Nice. Okay, and in a similar sense, what is a weakness that you wish other people would be more understanding of? So something that you consider a weakness and people don't always see it as something that you just can't, you're working on, you can't really control. Of course, an executive.
Of course. I think our personality is like more of a commanding thing. We like to lead stuff. We want everything organized, and I see this in my personality. And many people judge me in this. Yes, I cannot control that, but that's a weakness that many people tell me. They have to.
So it sounds to me that it's something that, you like being organized and you like getting things done. Is that correct?
Yes, but sometimes being more pushing as a leader might push other people away from us.
Okay. But what you're really trying to do is just get things done.
Exactly.
Nice. So you wish people would be more understanding of that.
Yes.
Love it. All right, Amy?
Can I hear what they have
Yeah,
to say?
yeah. Mariam, do you want to give an answer?
I think a weakness is kind of the flip side of being empathetic is like you tend to focus more on other people rather than yourself, so you tend to care for other people's needs more than others.
Yeah, okay.
Than yourself, sorry.
Yeah. Cool.
So for my weakness, if I had to say one, I'd probably say staying loyal with people. I kind of find it hard to do so. Like, for example, like if someone tells me a secret and they're like, "Oh, stay quiet about it," I kind of just have the urge, "Oh, I need to tell someone." I can't. But
So don't tell your secrets to Rafi at all.
So
won't be kept.
Like, I'm getting better at it. That was like a long time ago. But yeah, a lot of drama used to happen when I used to say things aloud. I was like, I gotta stay more loyal.
Okay, so I think would you say you're just too honest sometimes and you just want to get things out? You can't keep things in?
Exactly.
That's so cute. Okay, Amy, do you have an answer for us?
Sorry, everyone. I know it's really fun, but if we could be just a little bit more quiet, thank you so much.
I think with so I describe myself as an extroverted person. I'm pretty sure, that's what it came up saying. I think that some people misread that as having like a really, I mean, it's true, like a chaotic energy. Like in social groups, I get really excited and like I have this really chaotic energy, or I'm just excited, and I end up being really loud. And then I think sometimes people misunderstand that and think that I'm also like that one-on-one. And then I've also been told, oh no, but you just seem so much more calm, like you seem like you're okay to have a conversation with, but in groups you're a completely different person. And I think like it's an initial judgment, like people don't, they just kind of, it's like judging a book by its cover. It's like it's immediately what you pick up. But I eventually calmed down.
Yeah, beautiful. So you guys all have very unique weaknesses or things that you consider to be like the weakest part of yourself that you just wish people would be a little bit more understanding of, right? Beautiful. Okay, so my next question is more of a scenario question, and I want you to just say the first thing that would come to your mind if this happened to you, okay? So, so you get home from work on a Friday night, you see your partner or your family member has planned an impromptu family gathering. How